I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner Cox.
Here.
Commissioner Graven. Here. Commissioner Phipps.
Here.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
You're not here yet.
Not yet. Okay, so we've got one commissioner that is going to join remotely, but we have to make a motion
To allow,
to allow for him to join us remotely. And I'll make that motion and then we need to approve that and then we'll bring him on.
Need
Okay,
a
so
second.
excuse me. Oh, yeah. So I'll make the motion that we allow David Phipps to join remotely. And could I have a second to that?
I'll second, Mayor.
Commissioner Cox and roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven. Yes. Mayor Hall.
Yes. Now he's
Now
here.
he's in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Consent agenda. Items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion. Anybody would like to remove any item? Hearing none, I move that the minutes of the regular meeting of December the 3rd, 2024, the bills and payroll for the first half of December 2024, and the mayor's IML expenses. Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, and roll call on those items.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven. Yes. Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Petitions, presentations, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meeting Act mandates that the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on the agenda. But the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the matter for action on the agenda for another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentation to 3 minutes to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask you to state your name and address for the record as well as stand when speaking. Would anybody in the audience like to address the council? Anybody online? Hearing
Happy
none.
holidays.
Excuse me?
I just said happy holidays.
Okay. You met the time limit, so you're good.
He's done, all right? He's
So,
done.
happy holidays to you too. Let's see, okay, turn this over to Jim.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, everybody, we are here. We're going to honor Tim Speidel. Tim is retiring after 38 years. And I don't know, the council members, have we ever had a public works employee that did 4 decades roughly? Don't,
Not very many.
not very many. So just a few things about Tim, and then you got to do that. You got a 10-minute speech. So the public works director, was my wife said, worked at the sewer plant from a start date all the way back to 1986, around 2001. Then Tim moved to public works, operated the back truck with Mike Gavis on a daily basis, sewer cleaning, hydro excavation. Dennis Cole working on operating the back truck, very good working with others. Had a passion for sewer cleaning. But when you look at public works, and I always said this, they're kind of the unsung heroes of our town. You know, they don't see the public works guys at 2 o'clock in the morning when it's below zero and trying to keep the water tower from draining and water leak. Don't see them plowing snow 12, 16 straight hours, doing all the keep the sewer lines open so we're not having sewer backups. So there's a lot of good people in those departments that have done that. So we want to have, come on up here, Tim, we're not going to shop easy. So this plaque, we are presenting to Tim Speidel in appreciation of service to the city of Mattoon for the years 1986 through 2024. Well done, Amy.
With the family,
My wife Marlo, my daughter Parrish, my daughter Bell, my daughter Wallace.
would you like to get a picture up front with a plaque?
Sure.
Anybody in the family got a camera or something? Or do you want to do that?
We remember is having a passion for sewer cleaning. For the city, really.
Come on
Come
up here.
here.
Come on up here.
Come up here
Sam.
so we get in front of the logo.
And you,
Yeah, just turn around that. Yeah, there you go.
Tim, it's right here.
There you go.
Thank you.
and many years of, thank you, Tim.
Tim,
Actually.
Tim. Right behind you. Forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for all the,
Honor.
the duty time that you put into.
Tim.
Yeah.
Good 8 years.
You enjoy your retirement.
Tim, this is Dave Phipps. Sorry I can't make it tonight, but really appreciate all your hard work and Tim, congratulations.
Okay, the first item on the agenda for new business, I make the motion to adopt ordinance number 2024-5485, updating building codes in the municipal code of ordinances to comply with new state regulations. Can I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Commissioner Graven and anybody have any comments about this?
I'll just make a few comments. The state of Illinois passed a little over 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, that cities had to adopt the newest building codes beyond one of the 3 newest versions. We've elected to go with the newest version. It's just 2024. We did make some local amendments similar to what we've had in the past. The only thing that's really new is residential sprinklers are required in the building code. We exempt that out, like many cities are doing. We are saying that they are not required to have sprinklers, but if they choose to put sprinklers in, they have to meet the building code requirements for the sprinklers. But again, we don't think very many people will choose to do that. And again, there's so many more codes now to try to prevent fires with arc fault breakers and everything else that we're leaving it up to the homeowners to choose if they'd like to do the sprinklers or not.
Okay. Any more comments? All right. Let's see, roll call.
Commissioner Graven. Yes. Commissioner Fix.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2024-5486, authorizing the city's execution and delivery of a Phase 2 project agreement with Mattoon Sports Complex, Inc., relating to the acquisition, construction, financing, and operation of an economic development project, and the transfer by the city of certain special revenues to be pledged by Mattoon Sports Complex, Inc., to pay debt service on certain special revenue bonds, Remington Road Economic Development Project, or other financing obligations to be issued by Eastern Illinois Economic Development Authority or another authorized issuer of such obligations to fund certain costs of such project.
Could I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox. Now we're going to do the presentation now, I assume.
Yeah.
We're going to have John Hanson from IRR give us some more details on this.
Excellent. Mayor, Commissioners, thank you very much for inviting me back to talk about Phase 2 of the sports complex. We're excited to be here this evening to run through a relatively brief presentation. I'll give my comments in 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I'll give it much more brief than that, but I'm more than happy to go into more detail. Overall summary. Finance for Phase 2, if you go to the second slide, please. The overall plan of finance for Phase 2, and then discuss the project agreement and ordinance itself that are before you for consideration. I'll start with the plan of finance. We have the sources and uses for the project totaling approximately $47.5 million. As you all know and enjoyed, the opening of phase one, the indoor sports complex, super exciting news, a great time for us to be back here. We're very proud to say that it's time to start the preparation work to do the financing for phase two of the project. The sources anticipated for phase two included a host of things that will look familiar, similar categories to what we had for phase one, but there are some key differences. First of all, the total was higher at $47.5 million. We're anticipating bringing $2 million of additional donations on top of the generous donations that have already been included for phase one of the project. $2.5 million grants, estimated a bank loan of $4.55 million, and bond proceeds of $37.5 million. Currently, we have about $1 million gap, $860,000 gap to full financing for the project, but we anticipate additional commitments on the commercial side to increase bond proceeds to be able to close that gap. Additionally, the donations, grants, and bank loans are estimates at this time. We could do better in more and more of those categories. So some combination of those four tools we anticipate fully funding the sports complex. From a use of funds standpoint, the outdoor sports facility will be $47.5 million. Fields and sports equipment will make up about $19 million. Park construction costs about $7.5 million. Lighting, utilities, and parking about $9 million. Concrete and landscaping 4.6, soft costs $6 million, and furniture, fixtures, and equipment FF&E about $1 million, rounding out the full $47.5 million. The largest source of funds is bond financing. I'm going to go into some detail with respect to that bond financing to discussion. The overall bond structure is going to be similar type of bonds to phase one, but there are going to be a number of additional revenue streams, which I'll go into in a moment. The bonds themselves, though, as a reminder, have a number of features that are advantageous to the project, advantageous to the community as well. First of all, the revenue bonds that are envisioned to be issued for the project will be fixed rate, long-term, non-rated, non-recourse bonds. They'll be issued by an issuer that's not the city of Mattoon. Previously, we used the Illinois Economic Development Authority as the issuer, and we anticipate using them again. If for some reason they were unavailable to us as an issuer of the bonds, there are a number of other options, Iowa Finance Authority and other finance authorities that we could use as backup options. But importantly, the city of Mattoon will not issue of those bonds. The debt service on the bonds will be solely from public finance revenues pledged. And I'll outline what each of those tools specifically are in a moment. There'll be safeguards put in place for bond investors so that they have the best possible chance of being fully repaid. There'll be debt service reserve funds, there'll be debt coverage, but importantly, the city has neither legal nor moral obligation to backstop even $1 of those bonds. There's a pledge of revenues that are earned by the project, but beyond that, there's no additional obligation to the city. As I mentioned, the debt service reserve fund, capitalized interest, there's a coverage ratio, all of market rate terms, and bondholders will be sophisticated investors who are accustomed to analyzing these types of bond issues and assuring themselves that they're qualified essentially to purchase these types of bonds and the risks associated with them. But bondholders themselves will be accepting the risk that they get fully paid. The revenue streams that go into the bond issue are multifaceted. Some of these tools you all have seen already and approved. Others are new tonight, and the phase two project agreement essentially knits them all together to allow us to go do the bond issue. So the first tool that was approved back in September 2022 for the project is the business district. Business district is an area that encompasses not only the sports and the new commercial development, but also much of the commercial development around Walmart, Home Depot, and that existing retail network. I'll have a map of the business district up there. The tax increment finance district was approved by this council in October of 2023. City sales tax rebate for the project was approved in February 2024. And for consideration tonight would be the hotel occupancy tax rebates for the project. Also implemented, it's what I would call a quasi-public finance tool, is a private fee that is imposed for all retailers operating within the area of the sports facility and the commercial development. There is a private fee imposed by private declaration on the property requiring retailers to charge a 2% fee. That 2% fee gets collected and remitted back for use in debt service on funds. So those are the 5 tools that are that make up the bond issue that's contemplated. The project agreement before you tonight is an agreement between MSCI, two sports complex, and the city. It has a term of 30 years. It requires MSC to acquire, own, finance, construct, and operate the project, the sports facility project. And from the city's standpoint, it obligates the cities, if the revenues are earned, as described, the city transfers those funds to a non-trustee. Fairly straightforward, but we could talk more details about the project agreement as we go along. Just as a refresher on maps for each of those revenue tools, this is the entire business district that was approved back in 2022 by this council. The area of existing commercial retail was pledged to the first bond issue and allowed us to finance and complete phase 1 of the sports complex. Next slide, please. We will then dedicate the area red to this second bond issue. And so that is what is part of this project agreement that you're considering tonight, specifically the pledge going to the red. The business district's already been created. Prior area was already pledged to the first bond issue in 2023. You're now considering the pledge of the red area, phase 2 project. Then finally, TIF, sales tax rebates, and hotel rebates are all in this area out in yellow. This is the area in which incremental property taxes from TIF, the 1.5% of the sales tax generated in this area, and the hotel occupancy tax for new hotels in this area as well. Each of those are dedicated and memorialized in the phase 2 project. Just a little bit of a summary. We talked about these before as we talked about a preliminary strategy for this project. I was in front of this council. We talked about these things. We were getting ready to do phase 1. We came in and talked about these things, but I think it is important for us to review each of these and remind ourselves what risk exposure does the city avoid by this structure? What benefits does the city receive by this structure? So first, the risk exposure. First of all, this wasn't clear initially how we were going to have the ownership of the sports facility, but as we developed the strategy for this, it became clear that the smartest way to do this was to have the nonprofit formed, and that was Mattoon Sports Complex. And that was formed just prior to the issuance of the phase 1 bonds. That entity will continue to own the indoor sports facility and will own the outdoor sports facility as well, allowing the city to avoid ownership directly of the facility. The city will not be the issuer of the bonds. The Eastern Illinois Economic Development Authority likely will. And importantly, there will be no guarantee to the city of any. You're making revenues available if, and created, but you're not guaranteed to bond with any party that they are created at any particular level. And then finally, just a recap of what some of the benefits are that the city receives. First and foremost, a community facility and amenity to be proud of. $41 million in tax benefits over a 30-year period, 695 estimated permanent jobs on site, commercial development and facilities in full operation, and nearly 250,000 visitors estimated per year. Recommended next steps for you is considering the approval of a phase 2 project agreement ordinance tonight. If you all are comfortable moving forward with that, what we would then do is assemble a bond finance team immediately out of the holidays in January with a targeted issuance of bonds in April and a spring 2026 phase 2 outdoor sports complex. With that, I stand ready to answer any questions about the project agreement, the plan of finance. Blake Pierce, President of Masters Sports Complex, Inc., also here, available to answer questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions anybody has? Then, if there's no, anybody else have any more comments?
Just one quick question. In our packet, John, November receipts, business district, just for the month of November, was 117,000. That's from the business district only, right? That's not any of the other taxes that goes towards that number.
Right.
And then we get that monthly, and then that goes towards bond payments.
Anybody else have questions?
Very nice detailed report. Thank you.
I have this is Dave Phipps. I got a couple questions.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. John, as I look through this handout, there's nothing in here that was different than 3 years ago. Is that correct? All the public financing, the 5 tools, the hotel occupancy tax, those were all anticipated about 3 years ago, weren't they?
That is correct.
Yeah.
And so we have essentially taken an incremental approach, come before the city council each time we've needed the pertinent approval. And so back prior to phase one, only had business district revenue pledged toward the bond use. We came forward. We have taken incremental steps to implement things like the business district, tax increment finance district, economic incentive agreement, and things of that nature. But Commissioner, you're 100% correct that this is the strategy that we put together a couple of years ago, now, and have briefed this council on multiple times. This is just the next logical execution step.
Right. And then the hotel occupancy tax rebate, which is the new one for this agreement, is just for the hotels inside that. Right.
That is correct. Just inside the boundary in the economic development. That's correct.
And as I understand it, the bonding of 37.5 million, you're really not only, I mean, it's significant, don't get me wrong, but as far as the city's revenue stream of that's only 24 million, and that private duty of 13 million is pretty significant too. As I'm reading this, so.
That's correct. Of the 37.5 million, a little over 13 million comes from that private fee, with the balance coming from those 4 tools that have to be approved by the city council.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions anybody has? All right, then we're ready to do roll call.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Graven. Yes. Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Guys.
Okay. See, we've got
I am.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd make a motion to approve council decision request 2024-2559, authorizing the employment of Hayden Johnston as a probationary firefighter with a base pay of $52,184.08, EMT or the Mattoon Fire Department effective January 1, 2025, contingent upon successful completion of psychological exam.
Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, and any comments?
Yes, sir. Hayden is with us, and I got a phone call on Monday. He has successfully completed and passed the psychological exam. So it's ready to go come January 1. Hayden is an EMT, works for an ambulance service down south. He's from Hoffman, Illinois, which I have no idea where that was until I met Hayden. It's just west of Centralia. Folks that don't get down there. Looking forward to getting him on break.
Now, Hayden, did the chief tell you to be prepared for a speech or presentation tonight?
Gave me a warning.
He did? And do you want to introduce anybody? Are you have any friends here? I mean,
I don't have fiance here.
okay, so that's good. And so you have anything to say, or you just,
Say, or thank you guys for the opportunity. It's been a long process, a lot of steps, so I mean, just to be considered as I've gone along my way, at each step is an honor. So, yeah.
well, you're joining a great organization, so that's good. Anybody else have any comments? Anything? All right, roll call.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Graven. Yes. Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Mayor, at this time, we'll be pulling number 4 from the agenda this evening, but a little side note, and Chief, I'll turn this over to you here in just a minute, but we do have Jed Jones with us here this evening, and he is a part-time
Correct.
employee with the fire department.
This is Jed. Melvin Pierce has told me that he will be retiring. He will be out of here before the 4th of July. So with the spring academy, we've had some pretty considerable luck with that part-time position in the past, talking to Commissioner Cox and Kyle. They agreed to bring Jed on part-time. That's going to save us, pretty significant just in the backfill, hiring him, getting him to the academy. That when Melvin does resign, he'll be ready to go. Jed's currently 20. He turns 21 in February of next year. So he'll be ready to go. Jed is from Arcola. And he got done with your EMT earlier this month, correct?
Yes, that's right.
So he will be another welcome addition. So
Great.
So Jed, you'll have a lot of time to practice your presentation because you'll know about it already. So you can work on that. And we look forward to you becoming a full-time firefighter.
Look forward to it as well.
Okay.
Thanks for being here this evening, too.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Motion to approve council decision request 2024-2561, authorizing the purchase of a new Kubota LX 4020 HSDC tractor from Niemeyer Repair Service Incorporated in the amount of $37,549.31 through Sourcewell.
Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, and any comments on that? Anybody?
We had approximately $30,000 left in ARPA funds. We got 2 old tractors out there at the water treatment plant. One of them was borrowed by the police department and kind of got ran down. We won't blame the police department, but it's no old machine. It was time, so we're going to replace those 2 with a new tractor. pay for it out of ARPA funds. And it's a long time coming for the water treatment
Right.
plant.
Right.
So we'll do a lot of mowing and ditch repair, and then we won't have to be coming to the Public Works Department and grabbing yours, and it's gonna be good.
Great. So, any other comments anybody has? I would point out before we take a vote that I know you gave, our police chief a hard time. But as I recall, they had an officer that did part of your work recently in saving the lives of some people. Helped you out a little bit there.
He did. And did you see what I did for them?
No, I don't know. I hadn't heard.
And
Okay, so, all right, roll call.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Graven,
Yes.
Mr. Phipps,
Yes.
Mr. Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
A motion to approve council decision request 2024-2562, approving the engineering proposal from the Upchurch Group in the amount of $21,870 to be paid from ARPA funds to revise the Mattoon Loop Road Phase 1 report to extend the project further to the south, then over to Detro Drive and align with Woodell Way, and authorizing the Public Works Director to sign the proposal.
Can I have a second to that motion?
A second.
Commissioner Graven got that one?
No, Clausen.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Clausen? Well, you both spoke up at the same time. I was just trying to help you
No,
out.
he was actually just, we better pay.
All right, so we got a second on there from Commissioner Clausen and roll call. Do you have any comments?
Well, I was gonna say again, we are allocating this to ARPA in case some of the other funds that we don't spend, if we don't spend all the other ARPA funds, we're allocating this to ARPA, but we have other funds to cover this as well if it's needed to be. I just wanted a little safety net with the ARPA funds, so we don't give any back that we don't have to. And there was an attachment tonight that had the attachment was the wrong picture, wrong estimate and or contract proposal and picture, so we replaced that tonight. So you guys got the correct one this evening.
All right. Now, roll call.
Mr. Graven,
Yes.
Mr. Phipps,
Yes.
Mr. Clausen.
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Department reports, starting with the city administrator, Kyle Gill.
I've been busy last few weeks, a lot of stuff with the sports complex, a lot of new things going on with the community breakfast, the open house, and everything out there at the complex. Helped, like I said, it helped the chamber with setup and takedown of the community breakfast. Been working with some employee issues and negotiations on some of that this week. And then still trying to get some advertisements out there. We've got 3 applications for the grant writer that I reached out to them today to try to set up interviews, and advertising for wastewater treatment plant, and then working on water treatment plant position and advertisement for 2 more public works employees. So trying to get those knocked out. Why it's a little bit slower this week and next week.
Very good. Any questions?
I have a quick question. I know Alex is not here, but in the paper this morning, under the planning commission notification, it listed January, I think, the 14th of 2024. Will that need to be corrected, or is that still good?
We'll look into that, see if it needs to be, should have been 2025, and
Yeah.
they changed it and forgot to probably change that date.
I just
So
don't want to cause any problems with the planning commission meeting.
so we'll ask Dan on that one.
Commissioner, do we have a time machine?
Yeah, go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll try to make it as a typo, so I'll go from there.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other comments, questions? All right, City Clerk Dan Jones, you're up.
Quite a couple of weeks for me. I'm still waiting for a decision from Judge Bobart on the Quackenbush matter. I'll share it with everybody when I get it. Still trying to get a hearing date on the Rob Perry matter. So it's been kind of business as usual, meeting pretty quiet. Happy to talk about any issues, people have questions.
Any questions for Dan?
When you say trying to get a date for the Perry matter, what exactly is that?
We have to coordinate it with our schedule, the liquor commission, lawyer schedule. No, it's here. It'll be here.
I got you.
But
Okay.
They've got to send somebody, so we're trying to, but we'll get it up. Okay, we'll get it done.
Okay? City Clerk Susan O'Brien.
Just mainly been focusing on finishing up the various insurance renewals and the updates, and just otherwise the normal day-to-day issues with citizens, employees, retirees, you name it.
Very good. Any questions for Susan? Next is Finance, Beth Wright.
We'll start with the Montgomery County Financial Report. General fund had revenue of 17.5 million. Expenditure of 17.39, in a deficit of 45,438.29. The major differences between 7 months of the budget, which would be 58.3%. Percentage of budget columns, you see replacement tax is under budget, and use tax is under budget. Under expenditures, the other category is over. The difference between this year and last year, 1.6 million, is basically the ARPA funds that we've been spending. At the end of the year, for the audit, I will take some deferred revenue into income. Money was received a couple of years ago. For audit purposes, we have to put it in deferred account, and it's recognized as an officer's fund. So it's going to be, we're not really looking at a deficit of 45,000. Right now, we're looking at a surplus of budget more than. But I won't make those entries until we get the year. Cash position at the end of November, pretty consistent from the month before, 25.16 million citywide versus 25.19 at the end of October. The major sources of revenue, see the lower right hand corner, we're about $96,000 below where we were a year ago. In terms of December receipts, property tax for the month was more than previous, as was the year-to-date total. Income tax was down for the month, but that for the year-to-date total. Gaming was down for the month and down for the year-to-date. Same for use tax. Sales tax was down for the month, but up year-to-date. Telecom tax was down for the month, down year-to-date. Same for personal property records. So when it's time to budget, if it's now, it would be very closely if line items. We don't have information yet from IML, but I'm thinking probably like categories. Unrestricted cash in the general fund tonight, $11.144 million. Last meeting, it was 10.438. Meeting prior to that, it's 11.231. So it keeps bouncing back and forth between two levels. And lastly, I mentioned the budget. Contributed worksheets, and it will be looking at the revenues, and a couple of people have already turned in their information. So
Good.
That's all I have.
Any questions for Beth?
Beth, I have one, the state funds that are per capita, like motor fuel tax, do those come every month to us? Okay, because I noticed like motor fuel revenue 480, but expenditures 800, but that'll become in the plus category at the end of April, I would assume.
There are projects, more fuel tax company.
Yeah, so we budget, we'll save up for a few years and then we'll spend more one year than what we actually bring in. But yes, we build those funds up and then spend them as bigger projects come in. So
Okay.
it is likely that the expenditure will be more than the revenues.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Beth? Next is Public Works, Dave Clark.
The construction projects kind of slowed down. we're working to get those finalized out, get some more reimbursements back from the EDP grant and so forth. One project that's still going on is the sanitary sewer main, plan out to the sports complex. We are now several hundred feet east of Oddfellow Drive there, or Calico Road, so it's moving along, but there's still a ways to go. Completion is supposed to be done by the end of this month. Let's see if they can make that done. Long ways to go on that. The lead water line, we continue to collect the data for those services, see what we have out there. And reporting will be starting in the next spring. We have some sampling that we got to take. We had to get 60 volunteers to take samples for us. We now have those, so that's a good thing. On the water side, also the dam inspections, completed those today, got all the reports done, and those sent in here tomorrow. Doug is out, the wastewater plant's working on the EPA response. We're supposed to have that done here by the end of the month too, and I think we'll be real close to having that. Been in discussions with them all along, so if we miss it by a day or two, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Getting started working on a lot of design projects, Burgess parking lot, sidewalk program, striping program, doing some clarifier work at the plant, get those plans started. So a lot of things going on right now, even on the design side.
All right.
So.
Any questions for Dave? Anybody? Next is Fire Chief. Yeah, Hildas.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council, for hiring Hayden. Congratulations. Since the last meeting, you guys have answered 152 calls for service. Inspectors have done 4 inspections. We've had 2 fires. Got lucky on one roofing crew down at McDonald's on South Route 45 was doing some patchwork, and they have to, that flat roof, they have to heat that membrane up, put the insulation and the parapet wall on fire. One of the officers got on the radio and said they could see smoke from Old State Road. I think thick black smoke from Old State Road. I was envisioning that thing being on the ground by the time we got there. You guys did a great job. It was just that parapet, that insulation. They've done some EMS training and went over warehouse fire. And I would like to wish you all a Merry Christmas. That's all I have, unless you have questions from me.
Any questions? All right. Sam Gaines, Police Commissioner. Police Chief.
Thanks. I'm at the voter. All we did was bring out.
Oh, put it on. Thank you.
The best thing on that tractor was its tires and just want to make sure we put that last leg a long time.
Long time ago.
778 calls for service in the last 2 weeks, 61 arrests. Had a couple of nasty calls that you guys all know about already. That we got all of us called out on after hours. So hoping for the next week, quieter than that. And that's all I got.
Any questions for Sam? Okay, Arts and Tourism. There you go, right there. Angela.
We hosted a group of LIV students last night in the Lone Elm Room. They did an event showcasing their short films and music they had created. They had about 100 folks come through and see their creation. Just a really good partnership. It was a nice event. Excuse me. Working with Peyton Morrow. I've been talking about him a lot lately. He finished up all the window decorations downtown. We had about 15 windows. I say 15 businesses. Some of those windows were small. Some of them were very long, an entire block. So very pleased with how that turned out. I think the business owners really appreciated it. And the ones that didn't participate, I think we have a few that wish they had. So those will be up until the 1st of January. And then Peyton started installing our alley mural today. So it's in the alleyway by the library. And he started putting that up on the wall today. So that should be finished. That won't take very long. It's a small mural. It's not a block it's pictures. And he's been working with Chris Surdick to get it just right. And I think you guys are going to be tickled with it. I'm quite tickled with it. So is the beginning of what I hope is 3 or 4 of those downtown. We've been talking to some business owners that might be the next step in that as well. So once again, just doing our best to do to make downtown even better. We're finished up. This was our last email blast went out. We'll be going out tomorrow. We typically have around 250 or so events that we market during a year. This year, we're going to end it with 608. And I will tell you that I don't think that's going to be the end of all things. I think that's just the beginning. One of the things that's really taken off is putting on where music is, live music is, focusing on that part as a separate part of the email. So I think that really helped bump up those numbers. And so 608, so we'll see what next year looks like, but I suspect it's going to be larger than that. Lightworks ends on Christmas Day, and our donations are tracking to be about where we were last year. We've got about 9 days left. And so the numbers are about the same. I haven't looked at car counts yet, but I suspect they're probably on track for last year as well. And Bagel Fest, or Heritage Park will also be taken down at Christmas, or after Christmas. The Arts Council has had a photo show at Casey Summers since we last met, and a holiday sale at the Cross County Mall. And Arts Council and Tourism are working on 28-25 plans.
Any questions for Angelia? Okay, great job. It seems like a huge increase in number of events.
It is. It's very exciting. And what's really cool for me is that I've been doing this list for maybe 12 years in some form. And we just continue, and Ed Dowd is on the call, so he can take some credit for this. It continues to grow in terms of people being interested both in getting the information and also in giving you their information so that they can be seen. And of course, and I've had people try to pay me for it. And I'm like, no, this is just a service of the city to make sure we all know that there's a lot of things going on here that we can participate in.
Good. All right, great. Any other questions? Let's see, any comments on community development?
Community development, like I said, they went through the codes, they made some, amendments. They've received plans from Texas Roadhouse, issued an address for Texas Roadhouse, so that's exciting. But then Alex has been working a lot on the grants. And so he spent a lot of time the last couple of weeks working with Dave and myself and Beth and Jeff and I think Sam, even several different grants that he's helped participate in through DCO and the Fire Association. And so they've been very busy. We appreciate everything he's done, and he's on vacation and well deserved.
Very good.
But actually doing grants while he's on vacation too. So he was
AFG grant.
today.
Right. Okay. Any questions related to Alex's job? And then, so we got comments by the council, starting with Commissioner Clausen.
Thank you, Mayor. Aiden, congratulations. Thank you. Look forward to a good department you're going to. John and Blake, thanks for all your efforts, especially bringing it to a level that we can understand everything going on with this. Really appreciate that. The only thing I have, council, is an update on the quality of the water. I know starting about 10 days ago, a lot of complaints, both coming in here to the water treatment plant. 10 days ago, Heather, they doubled the carbon intake. I think that's helped quite a bit. And then the pump has been replaced. It'll be here tomorrow. And that's going to pump water from Lake Mattoon into Paradise, because that water depth at Paradise, about 2.5 feet, needs to be about 4.5 feet. So hopefully those two things will continue. According, when I talked to Heather today, they've had no complaints the last 5 days. So I think, again, the chemical change and having that pump tomorrow, I think we'll continue to see a lot of progress with the quality of the water. So that's all I got, Mayor.
Okay. Any questions? Commissioner Phipps, any comments?
Yes, sir. Congrats to the Proby. That's awesome. And Blake and John, I really appreciate your presentation, and also Kyle. I really want to give you a shout out, Kyle, for all the work you did on the agreement itself, protecting the city. on the city side, and then also while also continuing the good partnership with the development out on the out at Emerald Acres. Very good job. I've had a lot of people ask about the expansion of the Walmart West Side entrance. I think a lot of people are expecting that to be the West Side entrance pretty quick, but I know that's going to be a long time coming. But other than that, wish everybody a happy Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon.
Any questions for Dave? All right, next is Dave Cox.
Thank you, Mayor. Hayden, congratulations. Wish you a long, happy, healthy career. I think you're going to like it. We're happy to have you. May I ask your fiance's name? I'm sorry? It's nice to have you with us as well. And we look forward to having you in our community. So, and Jed, congratulations. Looking forward to having you as well, and then full-time later on next year. So thanks for being here. Would echo John Blake, thank you very much for all your work, and phase one has exceeded my wildest dreams. It's been very exciting. Been a staunch supporter of it since the beginning, as you know, but it's been fantastic, and was at the grand opening last week, and I haven't seen anything like that in Mattoon for a long time. And it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to phase two and everything that it has to offer as well. I would wish you a Merry Christmas, John. I know you're from the Kansas City area and the Chiefs fan, but they played the Steelers on Christmas Day. So you have a Merry Christmas up until that point. Then, I'll just leave it at that. So thank you. And celebrate downtown Christmas a week ago Friday, I think it was, on the 6th of month. But what a fantastic night that was as well. Very cold, but a great event that continues to just grow each and every year, and appreciate everyone's input and work on that event. That's a fantastic Christmas event for a community our size that just keeps getting better and better, and kind of what do you call it, Angelina? Norman Rockwell type of Christmas, type of Hallmark Christmas. There you are. Hallmark. Okay. Oh, Hallmark thing. There you go. So nice work, everybody. Appreciate everybody's work, and wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave? Commissioner Graven?
Welcome aboard, Hayden. Same thing that they said, since I'm repeating it all.
Go ahead.
I don't talk as much as you do. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, I'm just going to end with a Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Thanks everybody coming tonight. And next thing is anybody would like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'd make most to adjourn.
Okay, can we have a second to that?
Second.
And roll call.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Claus,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mr. Graven. Yes. Mayor Hall.
Yes. Meeting adjourned.
Last one of the year.
Fantastic.
Should ask, breakfast for all the people in attendance.